So, back from the VGC guide, and this time we are looking at Regieleki. Transistor has been nerfed. Thank God. 1.5 times was too much. We saw that in the previous generation. Regieleki was too fast, too strong. 1.3 times is enough. I think that is a good enough number that it's still going to be good, but it's not broken. And that's really, really good. That's why I'm giving it only an A. If it was 1.5 times boost, easily still an S. But because it's only a life orb boost rather than choice specs boost, that's fine. We don't have Dynamax to contend with either anymore, so it can't just double its HP and actually survive things because it doesn't have too much bulk. And just OHKO everything because Max Lightning becomes stupid busted with the Dynamax. So Regieleki is manageable. It's not going to be everywhere anymore, and I don't think that we need to account for its speed as much as we had to in the last generation. You had to make sure that your Pokemon outsped Regieleki in Tailwind. I don't think that's necessary anymore, because Regieleki will only be a fringe thing. It will still be around, but not enough to be, I must outspeed Regieleki every single time, which is quite nice. So Regieleki can definitely do some more supportive things now. It can definitely do offense if it needs to. But supporting is still something it can do perfectly fine. I think that the screens Regieleki is still very good. Light Screen and Reflect is still a very good combination, even if it's not a Prankster. Who cares? You're faster than everything anyway, apart from just Tornadoes going for Tailwinds. But other than that, you get your screens first. You can still speed control with Electro Web. It's still going to be able to get that massive speed control off with still reasonable damage. Because Transistor gives the boost to Electro Web, still does respectable damage, and then you just have some sort of attack to actually do some single target damage. Whether that's Thunderbolt, I have messed about with Thunder Cage as well. Spoilers, that's a recommended thing as well, because that can OHKO some Sash things like Sash Urshifu, even though Urshifu, the Rapid Strike should not be Sash. It's much better if it's not. But yeah, this bulk is able to survive the Surging Strikes from a Urshifu, well, it's only Urshifu, isn't it? Can survive the Surging Strikes from Urshifu and then just dumped into special defense as well. I believe the speed outspeeds Choice Scarf Urshifu, even the jolly ones, so that you can just definitely outspeed them and just OHKO them with a Thunderbolt if you need to. Terra goes for fake outs so that you can get your screens up guaranteed. Not really necessary going for any kind of other Terra is just because you'd be faked out. Choice specs can still definitely be used. I'm still going to be able to do some very respectable damage. It's not quite in everything gets OHKO territory. It might be next to Chi-Yu, though. So that would be the big thing. I would almost certainly run Choice Specs Regieleki next to a Chi-Yu. You have to contend with the ground types, because that would be very effective against both Chi-Yu and Regieleki, but now it has Terra Blast Ice. So it gets the Bolt Beam coverage, which is ideal. So then you can just blow back all the ground types, and if they're not a ground type, then you just spam electric moves and fire moves with the Chi-Yu and all that stuff as well. So this should almost certainly be paired with Chi-Yu. You're not going to be able to survive too much, so it's just a little bit of bulk, because you've got max special attack, outspeeds, Choice Scarf, Chi-Yu, I'm pretty sure this one does, so a little bit faster than the supportive ones, because you need a bit of extra bulk to survive things with that one. But yeah, this outspeeds the base 100s Choice Scarf, and then just optimize bulk, and then that's pretty straightforward with the Choice Specs one. Choice Scarf is also a very reasonable option, so you can still just outspeed everything in the Tailwinds. That's the point of this Regieleki, because it's so fast, you just outspeed everything. And then you get to combo it with Electro Ball. So if you're running Choice Scarf with Regieleki, you absolutely run Electro Ball. If you're not running Electro Ball on Choice Scarf Regieleki, something's gone wrong, because that is the entire point. Because you're going to be so fast, you're in the 300s of your speed, you're going to get 150 base power Electro Ball, I think, against even things that are just 90 speed. So it's going to be able to do some really, really good damage. And I'm pretty sure that a 150 base power just Electro Ball from Choice Scarf is stronger than a Choice Specs Thunderbolt. So that's really nice combination, in especially on top of the fact that you're just having the Choice Scarf to outspeed everything in Tailwind. You also get even more damage technically with Electro Ball, so that's going to be really nice. It's pretty standard stuff as well. You can spam Electro Web super fast. Even if they Tailwind, you'll be able to Electro Web them first, and that might put your quite fast things faster than their reasonably slow things that were trying to be faster than you in Tailwinds, like Chien-Pao or something, would be able to outspeed the middling speeds Pokemon even after just one Electro Web, even if they got a Tailwind. Terra Blast is so, of course, you can get the ground types. Volt Switch is good pivoting action. There's a couple of other moves that are pretty reasonable on Choice Scarf as well, but you can still just go with the Life Orb as well. Life Orb allows you the flexibility to switch up your moves. You don't need to go Timid Max. I don't think so, because Regieleki, like I said, shouldn't be too common that you need to at least go for the speed type. If you're Life Orb, there's no point trying to optimize any kind of bulk. You're going to die. Sorry, we're playing Pokemon. You're going to faint to basically everything. So, yeah, just go for the maximum amount of damage possible. Again, perfectly reasonable to pair this with the Chi-Yu. Lots of things will get KO'd, and you have the flexibility of the Life Orb to switch up between your Bolt Beam, which is going to be quite nice. Choice Specs will give you that extra damage, but Life Orb should be pretty strong enough anyway, and allows you to protect. Here are some other choices on Regieleki that are worth considering. So Thunder Cage, I did mention previously here. Thunder Cage I'll probably put on the light clay version because you're not too worried about the damage reduction in Thunder Cage over Thunderbolt. You have the shaky accuracy to contend with, but two nice things. One, it goes around Focus Sash, Tornadus, and Urshifu, and any other things that would be O-code and has a Focus Sash. And it also traps the opponent and does some extra damage. So a Thunder Cage at the end of the turn should have done as much damage as the Thunderbolt, maybe even slightly more depending on the target, because you'll be able to do that extra bit of damage. And trapping is pretty nice. Just, yeah, it has the shaky accuracy. If it had 100% accuracy, I would always have it over Thunderbolt on this one. But because it's got the shaky accuracy, something to consider. Extreme Speed is worth considering as well, because you're just going to be able to pick off some targets really nicely with the Focus Sash. If they've managed to speed control past your Regieleki, you can still be able to KO them, because most Pokemon that would be able to speed control past Regieleki are quite frail and probably do want a Focus Sash. So then you'll be able to Extreme Speed KO them. Electro Ball, I did mention on the Choice Scarf one. It's perfectly fine on the others as well, if you have Tailwind on your team. Because if you Tailwind, then you're going to be outspeeding everything even without the Choice Scarf, like, to the point where Electro Ball will be having the double power. So it'll be very nice on the Choice Specs one. I would probably have it over Volt Switch or Thunderbolt. And then if you Tailwind, Choice Specs Electro Ball, I reckon that every single non-ground type Pokemon is probably going to be blown back, because it is incredibly strong. Substitute is really nice on the non-choiced Regielekis as well. Because you're so frail, it can be used instead of Protect, because you're going to be able to get behind a substitute most likely before they attack, because you're so fast, and then it acts like a pseudo Focus Sash, allowing you to have another item. So for example, the Life Orb one could have run sub as well, so that it could be able to just have its Life Orb instead of the Focus Sash and get some extra damage. I will give an honourable mention to Explosion as well. You can very much go with a Choice Band Explosion with a Terra Normal on Regieleki. Probably not worth it though. There's surely better things that Regieleki can be doing. It's just an honourable mention. But I think the fact that 1.3, like 1.3 is perfect. That's what it should have been. Because even in the Dynamax format back in the last generation, things would have survived. Like 1.5, everything died. But, sorry, fainted, but playing Pokemon. But Transistor being 1.3, that is a perfect nerf to Regieleki. And I think that it's going to be much more manageable in this generation.